Tonight, the mad dash for gas as Harvey hits North Texas in a way few expected.
Word that two major Texas refineries were affected by the storm sent people rushing to fill up.
I was kind of scared that I wasn't going to make it anywhere and have to call an Uber.
Tonight, we get to the bottom of the Texas pump panic.
We also have new developments from the Gulf Coast. This military plane at Love Field, one of several flights tonight, bringing evacuees to safety.
You're watching NBC5 News at 10.
Need to gas up? Good luck. Texas Sky Ranger shows the long lines we have seen at the pumps all day. Still a major issue tonight. This is a live look from a station in Louisville. If you don't see lines, you probably see this. Gas stations shut down, out of fuel, turning customers away, like this location in Fort Worth. It is just another problem Harvey is causing in Texas tonight. Good evening, everyone. I'm Brian Curtis.
And I'm Meredith Land. From Dallas to Fort Worth to Plano to Denton, we have watched cars line up at gas stations across North Texas. As prices skyrocketed overnight, many stores had to close their pumps after running out of gas. So is there really a shortage? And when will things get back to normal? We have team coverage to answer all of your questions. We begin with Scott Gordon in Fort Worth, where it has been a very unusual night at one gas station. Scott?
Well, Meredith, in a word, it's crazy out here. We're here at the Circle K at I-30 in Oakland. Usually you pull right up to the pump, but tonight you'll have to wait for a while. Earlier tonight, it was so bad the line stretched out into the street and half a block down. All night, the line to fill up hasn't let up.
I'm just going on fumes.
Desperate drivers just trying to get to the pumps.
I got like 20 miles, and that's it. My gas light's on.
Jonathan Burden is running on fumes, worried he'll make it on time.
I'm about to run out of gas. This is nonsense. You know, we don't have a shortage. At least I don't think we do. This is causing a shortage.
Well, it's very unfortunate, but it happens. There's nothing you can do but go along with it.
The gridlock at this Circle K got so bad, a police officer had to direct traffic.
Well, it was backing up, so I decided to stop and move them, but I didn't know it was going to take this long.
The officer also had to keep the order.
I ain't cut, but the police woman had stopped me.
Busted. At this Lisa's Chicken on Northeast 28th, the line was steady.
I think this is the last one that's actually have some gas left.
I'm wondering if I'm going to be able to get a full tank of gas, so that'd be great too.
But soon the signs went up. They were out of everything but premium.
Yeah, it's been really busy. We just ran out. We're probably going to run out in like an hour or so.
Back at the Circle K, it took about 30 minutes, but Jonathan Burden finally made it to the front of the line just in time.
I'm just glad I made it. Now I'll be able to get to work tomorrow and get my wife from school.
Crisis averted. Who would have thought a tank of gas would be such a relief? And of course, everyone is paying more at the pump too. At that Lisa's Chicken, the price was $3.69 a gallon. At this Circle K, it's just $2.49, but still a big jump from what it has been. Brian?
All right, thank you, Scott. Now we want to answer some of your questions. NBC5 responds. Consumer investigative reporter Wayne Carter's with us. We've heard a lot of concern about price gouging. When is it considered gouging?
That is one of the biggest questions we've heard today. And late today, the Texas Attorney General set the mark at $4 a gallon. Anything more is considered gouging, and the state wants to know about it. We've already seen the Attorney General asking businesses to lower prices and refund money to those who are overcharged, Brian.
So how did we get to this point?
It's a good question. We talked to an oil and gas industry leader today. He's the guy the gas stations buy their gas from. He says some refineries are down, but there's no shortage. The only reason this happened is because people panicked and all went to fill up at once.
The resupply is definitely on its way. And I think that if everybody kind of just calms down and allows the process to take place. You know, there's long-haul trucking that are coming from West Texas, from Oklahoma, from Arkansas and other places to feed into our region.
I'm just
And, you know, in terms of this buying so much, we saw it happening tonight. We ran into a man driving around filling gas cans with fuel for his family and friends, not realizing there really isn't a shortage, and he was just making it harder for the people who are driving around on fumes. Now, if people stop doing that, we could be over this and back to normal. The experts tell us as early as the weekend.
So if you have half a tank or so, just
hang on for a couple days and it'll help out. And some other advice is to download the app Gas Buddy.
Okay.
A lot of people are using that tonight. What you can do is look and see when the last person updated a price. That'll let you know they had gas recently.
All right. Thank you, Wayne. Sure. Our NBC5 Response consumer team will stay on this story, reporting new developments all day tomorrow. Watch for their updates on NBC5 today, beginning at 4:30 a.m.
So let's talk about why this is happening. Harvey knocked about 10 refineries offline. Some are already back up and running tonight. Truckers have been picking up as much fuel as they can, but we're buying it just as fast, so supply is barely keeping up with demand.
Historically, following a hurricane, what you see is this dramatic spike in prices, but usually it's brief, it doesn't last very long, and as fast as those prices come up, we usually see them to start to go back down.
And let's go to Grand Prairie now, where we have seen a constant flow of drivers just trying to fill up.
Vanessa Brown is live at the Quick Trip just off I-30. So Vanessa, what are the lines like there?
Well, the line's actually coming and going, but I just met a group of people who drove all the way from White Settlement. They stopped at 7 gas stations along the way. All of them were out. You know, it's not just a problem for drivers like you and me. It is also taking a bite out of business for local restaurants, especially those on wheels.
Burrito pizza, okay. Is this all together or separate?
Michael Goldenberg is fueling up his customers.
$12.
But filling up his pizza truck, that's a new concern.
Of course, the availability is probably more tougher on us right now than the price itself.
While this truck pulls into Clyde Warren Park 7 days a week, 2 others roam the city. All with generators, each running through about $100 worth of unleaded at the normal rate every 2 days.
What's scaring me is these stations are running out because we've got gigs to fulfill.
An event tomorrow and more on the weekend. He worries their commitments could suffer.
Without gas, we have a hard time getting there. You know, which means a lot of money out of our pocket initially. Yeah, deluxe stuffer.
Slicing into their profits, and in the case of higher prices, their bottom line.
We would not pass that along to the customer. Unfortunately, we'd probably have to eat that cost. This is very hot, okay?
This chef,
cheese pizza,
trying to stay positive.
Your meat stuffer,
1 plate at a time. And like many in line here, he hopes this is short-lived. Now, we checked the pumps. Most of them here are out of mid-grade and premium. Live in Grand Prairie, Vanessa Brown, NBC5.
Thank you, Vanessa. We have received several reports of high prices from viewers, but according to AAA, the average cost for a gallon of regular unleaded here is still about $2.37. That's only about a dime higher than at this time last week. We have mapped out the locations with high prices, long lines, and no gas at all. It's all at NBCDFW.com. Just search gas.
News since we saw you at 6 o'clock. More planes full of Harvey evacuees arriving at Dallas Love Field. As you see here, these military C-130s are full of people from Beaumont escaping historic flooding. The evacuees are headed to a Fort Worth shelter tonight. This is what they are leaving behind. Crews are working around the clock to rescue people from high flood waters there. This video shows U.S. Coast Guard members hacking away at a roof with an axe to rescue a mother and her 4 children inside their home. Rescuers went in after the woman explained she and her kids were in 4 feet of water and feeling electrical shocks.
Along the coast today, Vice President Mike Pence did what thousands of storm victims will do in the weeks to come. He put on gloves and he got to work, clearing debris and ripping out damage from flooded homes. He also delivered a powerful message in devastated Rockport.
Not months, but it's years. The challenges will be great, but we know that the generosity and the prayers and the faith of the people of Texas and the American people will be greater still.
The vice president vowed that no one eligible for aid would be denied assistance. He said $530 million has already been distributed.
The operators of a flood-damaged chemical plant in Crosby, Texas warn it may explode again. 2 explosions caused a fire at that plant overnight. The materials inside are not being kept at the right temperature, which manufacturers say can cause a chain reaction. Operators add that last night's explosions were not massive, but people who have been evacuated need to stay away.
Days after Harvey came through Houston, the cleanup is underway in many places. But in other places, evacuations and the flooding have just begun. Our Noelle Walker has seen it all. She is live in Cinco Ranch, west of Houston. Noelle?
Yeah, this is about a 30-minute drive from Houston, Brian, and as you can see, the streets are flooded. Take a look as far down there as I can see. Now, this floodwaters is from a controlled release of the Barker Reservoir, and it is why people in this neighborhood tonight are under a mandatory evacuation order. So while the crisis is really just getting started here, in other places, the cleanup has already begun.
After a disaster,
you can see the line.
you often hear a house is just a thing.
These homes were built in the 50s.
A thing that can be replaced. But some things are irreplaceable.
This is the home I grew up in as a kid.
Hurricane Harvey flooded Sven Schultz's mid-century ranch on the west side of Houston.
Really, when you saw the sides of the storm, it was just mentally, here we go again.
Days later, the cleanup
I mean, I'm not as young as I used to be, but
is underway.
I can do this.
It's not so much the house Sven is saving.
I was always sharing my house.
It's the memories.
You know, although we were first-generation Americans, there was always some culture in here, and it really made a house a home.
Hurricane Harvey may have been the only unwelcome guest here.
Want to just walk on my shoulder?
A house
Yes, sir.
worth saving.
James had to come inspect us, too.
Has neighbors who ride out the storms.
Oh, it looked like about so, couple feet.
Together.
We've been there before.
Both of us, right.
The water has already retreated back to the banks of the Brays Bayou. The recovery won't be as swift as the flood.
It's just trying to realize none of this will get done overnight.
A house isn't just a thing. It's the foundation to build memories.
And once we're done here, I'll be a lot smarter. I can go help other people.
And eventually, the people here in Cinco Ranch may need some of that help. One of the families I talked to here tonight told me they are evacuating to Dallas tonight to stay with family. Reporting live in Cinco Ranch, Noelle Walker, NBC5.
We can hear those frogs tonight. Thank you, Noelle. All right, this is pretty cool.
It is. During a Dallas Cowboys telethon tonight, owner and general manager Jerry Jones pitched in to help Harvey relief big time.
How many $1 million contributions have you had tonight?
I haven't had not one of those.
You got one now, buddy.
Oh yes, sir. We got $1 million over here.
You heard it right. Jerry Jones writing a check for $1 million to help our fellow Texans in the Gulf. They said, Jerry, to Dez, what a play.
Yeah, top that.
Hard to top.
Yeah. A lot more ahead here at 10. We just learned how much President Trump's son will make for his 30-minute speech at the University of North Texas. Plus, Rick's got your updated Labor Day forecast.
That's right. I've added a chance of showers to the one of the days. I'll show you which one, and the next hurricane that we're keeping an eye on.
Also, hands off, and a new law takes effect tomorrow that could get a lot of drivers in trouble. That's coming up in 90 seconds.
Texas Sky Ranger high above Addison tonight. Look at that.
Wrapped around, and not just Addison. Texas Sky Ranger has been all around the Metroplex. It's the scene in just about every city.
Texans scrambling to get gas tonight. A new law starts tomorrow that could land a lot of Texans in trouble. A statewide ban on texting and driving goes into effect. You can still use the hands-free functions on your phone, like making calls and using your GPS. Tickets will run between $25 and $99, but repeat offenders could be forced to pay as much as $200.
Tonight, we know how much Donald Trump Jr. is getting paid to speak at the University of North Texas next month. Our partners at the Dallas Morning News report UNT is paying the president's son $100,000 for a 30-minute speech and 30 minutes of Q&A. The speech is October 24th.
Tomorrow, Dallas County Schools will have its second new leader in less than 6 months. Gary Lindsay takes over as interim superintendent, replacing Letha Mullins, who stepped down on Tuesday. His first challenge, dealing with late buses and drivers missing routes. 2 complaints tonight from parents and administrators at Dallas ISD. They spoke to our Corey Smith, who joins us live from the newsroom. Corey?
Well, Ryan, first off, it is not uncommon for the start of the school year to be a little bit rough. We know DCS is about 28 drivers short. You've also got new drivers learning new routes, so delays are going to happen. With that said, though, DCS is fighting for survival, and parents say the start of this school year is doing very little to instill confidence in the troubled agency. It's a new year.
Mom dropped you off at Nathan Adam at 7:20.
But for the Lee family, it's the same old story with Dallas County Schools.
No show. The bus didn't show.
Howie Lee's son was among several students left stranded on their first day of school when their bus driver didn't show up for work.
Imagine school kids standing in a bus stop for 40 minutes without any supervision.
That was strike one.
We asking them, are they closed? Are they closed?
This message from his son today is strike two.
They're 15 minutes late. I'm not surprised, but I'm out of patience, quite frankly.
That's not a good sign for an agency whose existence depends on Dallas County voters, like Lee.
It should be reliable, it should be safe, and it should be on time.
DCS has been working to do that, but it remains dogged by financial troubles, changes in leadership, and a driver shortage. Its biggest customer, Dallas ISD, is even raising concern tonight over missed routes, missed stops, and late drop-offs, saying DCS service has improved, but, quote, there is still considerable work to be done.
Bring the kid to school on time, safely, and reliably. And that's all we ask for.
For Lee, time is running out for a DCS turnaround, but he says the thought of life without DCS could actually save the agency.
I would vote against them staying open, but then on the other hand, I'm also fear of what's coming.
Now, in a statement to NBC5, DCS responded to Dallas ISD's concerns, saying, quote, this is a complicated issue and a shared responsibility. We are hopeful DISD will work by our side to resolve their route issues so we can get the children to school on time every day. That vote on whether to shut down DCS will be held in November. Brian, Meredith.
Thanks, Corey.
All right, let's head over to meteorologist Rick Mitchell. Harvey, no longer a tropical storm, but still wreaking havoc.
Yeah, it's causing all kinds of problems. There were tornadoes in Alabama tonight. Yeah. There's been flooding rains across portions of Tennessee. You can see the heaviest bands from Memphis up through Nashville. That'll spread on into Kentucky, and the tornado threat coming to an end. Got some cool pictures in here from NASA. This is before the storm hit. That's right along the Gulf Coast. The water's blue, the ground is green. Take a look at the after the flood. And I want you to focus in on where the water is coming back into the Gulf of Mexico. Kind of looks brown. That's all the flood water that you see in those bays coming off of the land and going back into the Gulf. And some of that reaches as far as 50 miles out into the Gulf. Show you the power of the floodwaters as it's returning to the Gulf of Mexico. Let's look at the S-band radar. It's free of any rain, and I don't expect any for the next couple of days, so pretty quiet weather pattern. There's an ozone alert in effect tomorrow. Winds will be light. If you suffer from respiratory problems, tomorrow's one of those days you want to spend most of the day inside. Friday, Saturday looking dry. A couple of showers are possible on Sunday, Saturday night into Sunday. Next big cold front comes in Tuesday. That'll be a nice one. Maybe a couple of showers with it, but a taste of fall by Wednesday. No taste of fall before then. We'll be in the low 90s. Normal high is about 94, but we will be on the warm side. Humidity levels will slowly be coming back up. Jumping ahead to Sunday, because tomorrow and Saturday look quiet. Little system coming in, a couple of spotty showers possible Sunday. Here's our cold front on Tuesday. That'll move through again Tuesday night, give us a shot at some showers. This, way out in the Atlantic, that is Hurricane Irma. Boy, it's a strong one already, Category 3. By next Tuesday, it will become likely a Category 4, if not stronger. After that, the models kind of disagree where to take it. The American model takes it up the East Coast, but off the East Coast in 10 days. And the European model takes it toward the Gulf of Mexico. Let's just send it out to sea and not have to deal with it. But we'll watch it. It's a long way away. Forecast tonight, mainly clear, comfortable. 69 for the low. Tomorrow, a nice sunny day. A high of 90. Those winds will be light. Don't forget the ozone alert in effect for tomorrow. 10-day forecast looks like this. 20% chance of a shower or two on Sunday. Other than that, much of the Labor Day weekend looks dry. Highs will be in the lower 90s. Get that cold front in here late Tuesday. Notice the temperature difference between Tuesday and Wednesday. We're back in the 80s on Wednesday. Some lower 60s for low temperatures by late next week. I do like that. We're starting meteorological autumn tomorrow, by the way.
That's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
I like the sound of that. Thanks,
Rick.
A new twist in the Ezekiel Elliott appeals hearing.
Newey has the details next in sports.
NBC5 Sports Director Newey Scruggs.
The NFL's lead investigator reportedly recommended no suspension for Ezekiel Elliott during the league's investigation into his domestic violence case. The Cowboys running back finished his appeal for his 6-game suspension for violating the league's personal conduct policy on Thursday. Kia Roberts had made the recommendation after interviewing the alleged victim, Tiffany Thompson, but that recommendation never made it into the NFL's final report. This is according to Clarence Hill of the Star-Telegram. ESPN's reporting that Mrs. Roberts testified Tuesday in the appeal hearing that she was the only NFL employee who interviewed Elliott's accuser during the NFL's 13-month investigation. In addition, Roberts did not attend the meeting with NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell to discuss discipline for Elliott. In fact, the Star-Telegram reports that she was barred from it by Lisa Friel, the senior vice president for NFL investigations. NFL arbitrator Harold Henderson has to issue a decision in this appeal. If he does not come to a conclusion by 3 p.m. Central Time on Tuesday, Elliott is eligible to play in the Cowboys' Week 1 contest against the New York Giants, which you can see right here on NBC5's Sunday Night Football. The Texas Rangers failed to sweep the first-place Houston Astros after getting beat 5-1 in St. Petersburg, Florida tonight. Today, well, Texas is going to fly back and they're going to face the LA Angels on Friday. Up next, more Cowboys news. They spent the day helping those affected by Hurricane Harvey. Details after the break. Big Game Friday is headed to Postel Stadium for the DeSoto Eagles-Dallas Jesuit Rangers matchup. Pat Doney will be live in every show starting at 4 p.m. He will have highlights at 10. The Cowboys spent the day helping those in need. NBC5's Mercedes Owens has more from Arlington.
If the Dallas Cowboys weren't going to play in a preseason game, then they were going to make the most out of their day, and that's exactly what they did. It all started at the Salvation Army, where the players helped unload boxes and boxes of clothing, and then they wrapped things up right here at AT&T Stadium with a live telethon, in which Des Bryant took the most epic phone call you could ever imagine. Jerry Jones on the other end of that call made his personal donation to the cause for $1 million.
$1 million. That's Jerry's way.
That's awesome. Des got to take that call. Yeah. I wish I could have taken that one.
Oh, it's so great to see these guys, us, teaming with the Salvation Army, to try to put that smile back on Houston's face, anything that we can do.
All of the donations the Cowboys received tonight will go directly to the Salvation Army to help those affected by Hurricane Harvey. Mercedes Owens, NBC5 Sports.
We will keep track of this Ezekiel Elliott case.
Yes. All right, Newey, thanks.
We'll be right back.
Hey guys, Billy Crystal is here tonight. Plus, we have Derek Hough and the World of Dance winners. Plus, music from Jesse Reyes and the return of Camp Winnipesaukee. Do not change the channel. It's good.
And this is a live look. This is Texas Sky Ranger above a gas station in Plano. Car after car. Some of these folks have been in line for hours. And this is really the story of North Texas today, all over the place.
Right, as that picture goes away. We understand this is a short-term problem. It depends on how many people keep running out to buy gas. But if it settles down, this should last only a few days.
Unbelievable. All right. Rick, what is tomorrow looking like as we get ready?
Weather looks good. Tomorrow, Saturday, dry weather, highs in the low 90s. Low chance of showers Sunday, but all in all, the Labor Day weekend looks pretty good.
All right. Thank you, Rick.
Thank you for joining us, everyone.
We'll see you tomorrow. Good night.